Resident Evil 2 is awesome. Originally released in 1998, Resident Evil 2 is the second release in the Resident Evil franchise, and back in 2019, Capcom completely remade the game from the ground up and they did a fantastic job. But before I talk about anything else, I want to put a big spoiler warning for the entire video. So if you aren't familiar with the Resident Evil story so far, in the first Resident Evil game, we follow an elite task force as they investigate the outskirts of Raccoon City after the disappearance of their team members. In Resident Evil 2, we follow Claire Redfield, who is the sister to Chris from the first game, and Leon Kennedy, a rookie new to the Raccoon City police force, as they try to escape from Raccoon City after its citizens were turned into zombies from a biological weapon 2 months after the first game. Now, Capcom did such a great job on this remake because every single thing in this game just feels so polished. Starting off, I really like how in this game and in the original Resident Evil, there's always more than one protagonist to play as. In the first Resident Evil, you could play as Chris and Jill, and in this game, you have the option to play as Leon and Claire. And I think what makes having two different main characters in this game so fun is you get two different stories to play through, and each character has something better than the other character. In Leon's story, you get more of a thriller mystery game, and in Claire's story, it's much more of an action thriller. Having the second run option was also a nice touch because no matter which character you play as first, you always have the option to use the second run option, which allows you to replay the story with a different character and even slightly changes up a little things throughout the game so it doesn't feel like you're playing the same thing over and over again. But I definitely feel like Leon drew the short straw because when I was playing as Claire, I was like,
I'm stronger, I'm smarter, I'm better. I am better!
Claire was able to get all of these great weapons, and then they only get better with time, and I feel like Leon's weapons, even with upgrades, were just okay throughout the entire game. The core gameplay itself was also extremely polished no matter which character you played as, and I was so happy when I saw that I was able to freely move my camera around. I was finally free of the fixed camera angles and had me like... Being able to move my camera around added so much more enjoyment to my game because I was actually able to see what I was doing, and I'm so glad that Capcom changed it. I think another great change was also not having to rely on the ink ribbons anymore, and when I saw that I was finally able to save whenever I wanted to, I was like,
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on!
The puzzles were also updated and made to be more challenging than in the first game. And when playing the second run, some of the puzzles were also changed so you're not doing the same puzzles over and over again. I think another nice touch was being able to explore more than one location and that you weren't just stuck at one location for the whole game. The enemies were also a lot different too. Now I still think that all the different enemy types are
Creepy as shit.
but I really like the variety between them all, and I really like that in this game your best bet is just to avoid all the enemies you can because pretty much every enemy type is a bullet sponge. There were also some new enemy types added like the lurkers, who are extremely terrifying to encounter, and Mr.X, who has to be one of the scariest encounters I've had in a game, but in a weird way also a big nuisance too. For the first half of the game he's terrifying as hell and it was awesome to try and navigate around him, but towards the middle half and the end of the game he just started to get more annoying than anything else. But I think that was the entire point of having him in the game, and it was interesting to have him be able to follow you throughout the entire map so there never really is a way to lose him for longer than 5 minutes. And I think he brought the horror element in this game up to another level because any time that I encountered not only Mr. X but other enemies, it had me like,
No. Wait.
but I think what helps the horror is how amazing this game looks. I've had a hard time trying to see if there was anything wrong with how this game looks, and I was never able to find anything. This game just looks amazing from beginning to end, and now that I'm thinking about it, I don't even think I had any bugs or glitches throughout my playthrough either. I think that Resident Evil 2 is one of the best horror games I have ever played. From start to finish, I had an amazing time playing this game, and I've had a hard time trying to see if there was anything I didn't like, and I don't think there is. This is such a solid game that I would recommend it to anyone who hasn't played it before, and honestly, I think I would recommend playing this game first before you play the first Resident Evil because of how well this game was put together. So Resident Evil 2 gets a 10 out of 10.